Hello and welcome once again to another episode review for The Wind in the Willows. It's been a lovely day here in 2019. Mother's Day tomorrow. Today rather. I'm recording this on Saturday. So yeah, this is for Burglary at Toad Hall. So it's very fitting. It's lovely weather, like I say, and this is an episode where everything seems to be looking better weather-wise. The weather looks good in the wonderful world of The Wind in the Willows. I do have the script for this one, so I'm going to have a look at that a little bit as we go, and I'll be putting up sort of bits of it as we go, as you watch the video. And I also have a storybook. There are these wonderful books that were available in the 80s to coincide with certain episodes. Got one in lovely condition here with some beautiful pictures. So I'll kind of try and reference the two of them as we go. But without any further ado, let's play the video. So I'm pressing play right now. And here we go with Burglary at Toad Hall. Now this one is from Series 1, so an early episode, towards the end of Series 1. And like I say, it's a lovely episode. It doesn't actually specify what time of year it is, but you can kind of imagine that it's around now. Sort of, we're into spring. We've had a bit blustery weather, some stormy weather, some rain, but it was genuinely a gorgeous day. Those of you who live in the UK will know what I mean. Beautiful day today. Very warm. Feels like summer's almost coming. And here we go. So, like I say, it's episode 11 from Series 1, and this was one of those 13 stories originally devised by Rosemary and Sisson, but as you can see, Brian Truman, of course, wrote the script. So, as the narrator's saying there, and it says exactly the same words in the script, it had got round to that time of the year when everything somehow seemed to be getting better. Instead of freezing gales, soft breezes, instead of iron grey clouds, a cool blue sky that promised warmer blues to come. And it's worth, I mean, I always love these beautiful shots that would have mostly been taken by the late Richard Smiles, who did all the photography, and it's just marvellous. There's a model of Toad Hall there, miniature of Toad Hall. Beautiful shot there, and there we go, panning gently into Toad Hall. Now there's Badger making a remark about Toad being foolish again and referring to his father. So Badger was good friends with Toad's father. And there you can see sort of Toad. Basically Toad's got this idea that he wants to open Toad Hall to the public. He wants to open it like it's a museum. He wants to show off his home and let visitors come. And the others don't really agree with the idea, certainly not Badger. So this is classic Wind of the Willows in terms of Toad being his usual self, the others not really agreeing, but Rat and Mole, of course, are agreeing to sort of, they're going to agree to step in and help on the day. And there's Badger being, I mean, he is kind of a stick in the mud, as Toad says quite soon, but Badger, of course, isn't a social animal. He isn't kind of, he hates this kind of thing. He hates the idea of visitors, so he just wants to. Quite nice that he wants to, as he's already said, he wants to go out and be in the fresh air. He's going to be out painting, which of course Badger enjoys doing. So he doesn't always want to be underground.
That's as may be, Toad, but I think he's right. You'll regret this silly idea.
So I do like this episode. I think it's got some wonderful moments. I didn't see this one until the series was repeated on Channel 5 back in 97, 98. It was released on video, but certainly not on a video I had. I mean, it was on one of these. On one of, no, not that one. I don't know. I don't know that it ever was. Maybe it was. I'll track down the image of the video and put it up on screen if it was. But certainly wasn't on a video that I remember having. Now, these characters, as you can see, we have 3 human characters here who originally were made, of course, for the original film. And it's a little bit odd if you know those characters from the film, because here in the middle we have the magistrate that actually sent Toad to prison for all his shenanigans with motor cars. And either side of her we have Reggie and his wife Rosemary, who owned the car that Toad stole. So they are referred to with those names, but we assume that things have moved on, and I don't know, is there history there? We kind of get away with it, don't we? I mean, we can accept them that they are kind of the same characters, and I guess everything's forgotten now with Toad. But of course, it's an economical thing. It's just an excuse to use the puppets again. And I like. It's a little bit odd having human characters, but I quite like it. I think it kind of paints that world that Kenneth Grahame created. You know, the humans and animals do coexist. I love this music. The music you can hear now is actually a piece called Village March, which I've got on a very rare CD.
I knew I was right, Ratty. What's that, Mo?
I love Mole's cardigan, that beautiful purple cardigan.
It's not so much
I've not often seen that colour cardigan on Mole. He always has his grey one. Nice little splash of colour in this episode, and then Rat's got a nice, equally nice blue cardigan there, open cardigan.
I will, Ratty. I will.
Now this is an episode, of course, that shows off Toad Hall, but I love these cutaways to Badger with his easel there, and the Toad Hall miniature in the background. That lovely sense of depth, and of course it's much closer than that in real life. So here we go with the weasels, kind of being up to their usual tricks. Nice little joke coming up here. So Chief Wills was saying they must be priceless, and this is Toad getting the wrong idea of what the word priceless means. Basically saying they're certainly not, they're worth hundreds. So totally misunderstands the word priceless. Now I should be referring to the script a little bit, so let's have a little goosey gander at this lovely script here. This was actually, I managed to acquire this from the late Rosemary Ann Sisson, so I was very lucky to be able to visit her a couple of times actually, and she sadly passed away a few months after I last saw her at her home in London. So very sad, but I know that she was very grateful that I was kind of at least preserving some of her legacy, certainly for The Wind in the Willows. Of course she's known for a lot more things than that, but so let's have a look at this. So here we go. So I'm just trying to find a point where we are. So a little difference there. Rat was supposed to be with Mole there, according to the script, but I guess Mole wasn't needed. He's guarding one of the doors, so that makes sense.
I'm sure we will. If you would be so kind as to form an orderly group and stay close.
So Toad's being the host, of course. He's loving it though, isn't he? He's loving kind of showing off his home. He doesn't mind Weasels being there. As far as Toad's concerned, the more the merrier. Whereas Rat and Mole, of course, are concerned, trying to keep their eye on the Weasels. But that little kind of expression Ratty had there, that kind of roll of the eyes, it's like, there's Toad being typical Toad. But that's the thing with him, he's lovable, isn't he? I mean, he's so kind of, you know, yes, he's naughty, he's a bit of a rascal, he's a bit mean at times, but underneath that all is a lovable character, and that's why the others can stay friends with him. So here we have a montage of the Weasels stealing things. Shots like that with hands and things would have been much more straightforward to shoot than other shots, of course. I've done shots like that as another way. And what I like about this episode as well is it gives us an idea of the geography of Toad Hall. A lot of other episodes take place with a particular view of the hall itself. We don't move around quite so much. But with this one, like when Rat just then referred to the back entrance, and it was very carefully designed. They were making these episodes, they knew exactly where the front and back were. They knew which bits connected. They knew where each of the Toad's bedroom was, and all the other rooms that you had, the kitchen, all of that. It was carefully worked out.
And there, a famous painting of the rear Admiral Toad by...
I like this joke. The rear Admiral Toad.
I don't see any painting of a rear admiral. I see a painting of a front admiral.
Front Admiral. Now that there, we all know as Billy Rabbit, of course. He's known as Billy Rabbit in later series, but not quite so much in the first series. I mean, he does pop up in quite a few episodes, but if referred to him as Billy in the last one, the Yuletide Entertainment, and maybe before then, I can't think. Off the top of my head, I don't. Yeah, I mean, he does certainly pop up, but I don't think he's really known as Billy Rabbit until later. Now there are various cast members who provided these other voices. In the film, Beryl Reid, of course, provided the voice of the magistrate, but that's not the case in this episode. I think it's by either Daphne Oxenford or Delia Corey, I think. And that magistrate and Reggie and Rosemary, they appear in other episodes as well. The Grand Annual Show. And the magistrate also appears in Buried Treasure, all of them from series 1. So there are less human characters as the series goes on. In fact, very few, if any. So they just obviously wanted to continue that idea of the humans and the animals coexisting into the first series. Oh, these paintings are beautiful. And wonderful that some of these paintings exist today, thankfully. Many of which are in the archive, of course. I don't know what you call that thing there. The weasel's standing in. Of course, we saw it in the film, where you can kind of go into it and rotate round. I don't know what that's called. I don't know what it's based on. If anyone knows, I'd love to hear any comments on it. I'm sure it's got a name, and is it something purely from Edwardian times? Is it supposed to be like a secret? There we go. Lovely animation of that, very smooth. So we continue with the montage here. The giggling going on. Now this kind of montage is kind of repeated in a later episode, Fancy Dress from Series 2. And again, the weasels kind of trick Toad and steal things, but in that episode they hide everything in a suit of armour that Toad is actually inside of. But Toad's so wrapped up in showing people around and the idea of just showing off his home that he's just not noticing that the weasels are stealing things. And of course Rat and Mole are missing it. And who saves the day? Well, if you know the episode, you obviously know, but I'm sure you can take a wild guess who might save the day. Look at the detail that paint's so beautiful. Quite a nice painting as well. I'll be proud if I'd done that myself.
I'm so sorry I couldn't actually find the bishop's hand warmers.
That's the use of camera movements. You get that a lot in this series. A lot of this kind of starting as an establishing shot, and kind of just to get the scope of Toad Hall. I think in this case you've got lots of kind of like how he came from the top of the hall there and downwards. Yeah, I love the animation there. Toad's eye. See the way the eye moved there. Barry Purvis once was in an interview talking about Toad not having any ears. Naturally, obviously toads don't. So if he hears something, how does he react? So the way the eye goes first and then the head goes round. Yeah, just that absolute confirmation that he's heard something. I love the beautiful touches like that.
They certainly did not. Well, they certainly didn't slip past me, so
And that mold's getting slightly stroppy with each other.
weasel went out by
Now Ratty's wondering how have they missed, how the weasels got past them. So they're guarding the doors, but of course they forgot that entrance, that special entrance I was talking about. Now I love the lighting of this. Notice how the light catches that painting there. Beautiful. Kind of like a moonlight effect. Really nice. Now this would have taken a bit of planning. This long pan here and all the timing of getting the weasels to pass the objects along so that we could see them being passed. It always makes me laugh, these weasels. Sorry, Gov. Now there's lovely continuity at one point. This much later episode we see that painting with the hole in it in Toad's garage. I think in Toad in Time, when he's in the time machine. Obviously it's when he gets the painting back, which he does, it's rendered useless pretty much. Now it's interesting that when the weasel says, I told you. Yeah, he's checking the script. Yeah, I mean, pretty much follows the script here with all this. I've always wondered, you know, where bits cut because it's very montagey and it's very sort of, you know, snappy, very short dialogue. Another pan there, so seeing all the shields that Toad has, you can see that they're safe. We pan down and there's quite a bit of emptiness around. Now this is typical Toad as well, you know, there's the side of him that's very proud and, you know, he shows off, you know, but another side to him is that he's overly dramatic, completely self-centered again in both ways. He thinks his life's over. Because he's lost all of these objects. So Rat's already sent something. I like the animation in this one. I've got a little guide here that I always refer to with these, which tells me who worked on which episode. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I forget. I'll just forget. Oh yes, so yeah, it's interesting. So we had three animators on this. So we had Marge Graham, Andrea Lord, who were quite regulars and started in the film, but also Paul Berry. And I could tell somehow, and all very, very fine animators, but Paul Berry was just, oh, he was a genius, an absolute genius. He was such a fantastic animator. Died way too young, very sad. But you can tell, you know, Paul would have animated Toad, I believe. I mean, he developed Toad over many years, obviously refining him. Pretty much took over from Barry, but they did animate together. They did have a crossover. But yeah, one of the first episodes he would have worked on, this one, and directed by Chris Taylor. This episode, so a regular for Cosgrove Hall. He actually told me in an interview once that he felt it went on for one series too many. It went on a bit. And he got a bit tired of directing, and he of course became the associate producer from series 3 onwards, or series 2 onwards rather. But he did direct all the way through, here and there. Now, this happens a lot. There's quite a few episodes that end this way. It's about to end where they think Toad is going to hopefully learn his lesson. But of course, he's got a new idea. which just shows that he doesn't know. He never learns. Here we go. Oh, Toad. So how many times do we hear that groan of "Oh, Toad"? Many, many times. And that's probably the first time in these reviews that we've heard it. So there we can see some various people doing the voices there. The animators, as I mentioned, a few of them working together there. The sculptors, Peter Saunders, of course, went on to do Formickin and Saunders. Various people. Shame, I could talk a lot about each of them, but the credits always rush by so fast. Brian Dimmitson is very central, of course, to the music. Quite a few editors, as you can see, and the editors actually decreased over time. I guess as the technology changed and they became more confident with it. Although the technology wouldn't have changed that much actually in the span of a few years. So there we go. That's Burglary at Toad Hall. So sorry, it is tricky to kind of try and refer to the script while watching it, but like I say, you would have seen some snippets of it on screen there. So yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for joining me on that. Hope you enjoyed it. So I will be back again next Sunday with Mercury of the Motorbicycle. Another lovely spring episode there, and one from Series 3. That's a real great one. So thanks so much, and see you soon.